two, one in Karusha and another one in Mufurira. Maybe what's your view regards to participating in these elections? Do we see the Green Party coming out, or we are going to be seeing you only coming in when there are general elections?
Well, when we looked at the by-elections that are coming at this point in time, we do by-elections before we embark on our mobilization project I'm talking about, which is starting in May. I think those that are going to come after our mobilization programming, those who shall participate. But for these ones, I think they will pass. We'll let others the views from I think we stand out as a political party which is extremely objective, those that hear our views, where, for example, the party in government makes a very... We tell them this is not right, and we provide an alternative view on what could be done better. We've noted that people now begin to understand us better. They think that that's what opposition must be like. And even our colleagues in PF, you'd find that they will never take offense when we criticize them objectively. They commend us for that. And that's why we remain friends up to now. Never a single day have you ever heard that today this cadre of PF has raised a finger against the president of the Green Party or anyone. Or this member of Viewpoint has raised happening in the United States of America. They're able to read what's happening in Australia. They're able to read what's happening in Europe. They're able to read. They are getting to understand what we are talking about. But more kind of revenue revenue, it will be very, very easy for other political parties because it's not about forming a political party. It's about coming up with a program for the nation to make a difference.
2021?
Well, with this pilot on cannabis, okay. Then secondly, we want to run another pilot because we have got another project which we will look at other high value crops, which we are going to run also starting next year across the country
as an alternative to
as additional.
Okay.
Not alternative, but additional to the cannabis project.
Okay.
So that come 2021, we don't want just to speak, continue the Sonta program. We will also Sonta.
Okay. Interesting. We're looking at alternative solutions to the governance system of the country. We'll be getting straight into that. For those 000877. So we're looking at a main topic for the program. We're looking at alternative solutions to the current governance system. Let's sector to do mostly with institutions of higher learning. We heard of issues at University of Zambia, issues at CBU, Kuruma University. Almost each and every institution of higher learning, there are issues there. What are the solutions to some of these issues in running higher institution of learning?
Well, there are two solutions there. First of all, the problem number one in terms of higher education is the bursary scheme, where government has had challenges to provide the bursaries to the students in time, and also the diminishing people that are being supported. Bursary amount. Free education, not a free education, but in card, except you can access that education without paying a fee, but someone else is paying. So it's not as a free party. And what we had indicated was that from our $36 billion budget which we had from cannabis, we said we're going to dedicate $7 billion towards education budget. And the $7 billion is like the whole of this national budget of the access to this fee-free education. But what we said was that we're going to have created what we're going to call as a tuition credit, which is given to you for paying for your education. Then you reference bureau, okay, a placement reference bureau or an employment reference bureau, a tuition credit facility, so that when a student has access to this money, that money goes to the Ngongole goes is reflected in the tuition credit, the employment reference bureau, meaning that you can't get any job anywhere in the country if without a clearance for
the institutions.
Yes, of the employment clearance bureau. So at once you get, then they will start deducting from your salary. So it's like what we have now, what we call the credit reference bureau, where if you get money from one bank, you want to run away, you want to think you get money from another bank, they will pick it up and say, well, you did pay that in Congole that side, so we will not give you until you sort out that one. You know, so if you don't pay that loan which you got when you were a student, meaning that no employer will employ you at that particular time until you. So it is going to be a clearing base for the students. So we had come up with a very, very good program, such that we're going to deal away with this nonsense that we see happening every day, where every other month the students are closing, government has some money, and to one that if you had won that election, was going to have been ready. We're going to have now in $7 billion in that program to ensure lack of money. What we had said to the Zambian, but because they lack resources to pay for the education. And we had said also as a Green Party, just to wind up maybe on education, we had said that we're going to build a university in each province, additional to what is available. Build 7 more universities, and then upgrade the existing of a university kind of population. And we had put a placement of about 50,000. That ourselves. So really, we had it all. And then what was the situation which is centered around working only for the mines or working for banks and what have you? We said let's come up with an education system where innovation was going to have been the major thrust. Have been on the lines of the Michigan State University of Oxford, or those kind of universities where technology is very high on the agenda, so that come 2020 we're going to have launched our spaceship. Also, we're going to have sent a spaceship into space specifically for information technology, so that internet service in Zambia was going to be free for everyone. You didn't need to pay for it. You'd have access anywhere to be able to browse and do that. Because we think that one of the limitation factors for the country is people to have access to information, and we thought we need to make it free as well.
What's the best way to handle this? With very few universities across the country, can we still have this?
Within the presidency. Because you see, let's take an example of currently the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Nkandulua. She is handling matters with a lot of arrogance, has no respect, no regard for students, has no regard for the lecturers, has no regard for the university staff. It's like she can do whatever she thinks she wants to do.
Now, what's the best solution to what is
it? The best solution to that is that you need to provide what we call academic freedom. Okay, universities must have a kind of academic freedom where they must choose, they must elect the student populace together with the staff must elect who their chancellor or vice chancellor must be. Then you are going to remove this whole mess. Because right now, there is an imposition of a particular person on the university staff. That is a breach of academic freedom and academic independence. So the students themselves, together with their lecturers and the members of staff, must elect. If it's running, it's not also somewhere there. This is March. We're talking about almost of staff are being paid their full dues. They invest running in millions of 6 months, 7 months in dues. They invest running in millions of 6 months, 7 months, invest is running. There are no students. The core business of that investing is to educate our posterity, our children who are these students that we have are the future drivers of the economy, the future drivers of our politics, of our governance, and so on and so forth. Now, when you disrupt their participation in education, when you disrupt them, they can't graduate. You are not doing a service to the nation. You are wasting public resources, and I don't think that public resources need to be wasted on account of a minister's arrogance. I think there's need to sort out that one, and that's why for us as a Green Party, what we had said is that we're going to reform the university recruitment programming, elect the vice chancellor, would elect the deputy vice chancellor, would elect their chancellor, so that if we don't have this kind of mess where for 6 months we are wasting public resources, there's no one. Wait, what are you achieving as a nation? Yeah.
Right, the phone lines are open. Then you can also call us on the number 021 7. Let's move on from the education sector. Quickly, let's get to economic issues that the Green Party can offer to the country.
Well, economically, I think we are not doing very well. I think the members of the public at this point in time, they must have noted that quite an issue pasana kama not that why is because we have very limited understand what is causing not that why is because we have very limited understand what is $28 billion. That was our GDP from all various revenue streams. $28 billion.
That is fair.
$19 billion. So we lost almost $10 billion. Now, for a nation, when you is extremely massive. So, very happy. 800,000. They are projecting about, and a few other streams that are coming on board. Even then, we are likely to start hitting low figures by 2021, because most of these ore bodies are becoming less productive. The ore itself now is becoming less economic, and most of them will start closing. So the figure, even if we hit 1 million tons this year, it is temporal figures. Definitely need to look at, we need to think outside the box and look at other alternatives. Mining should not be the mainstream. Otherwise, we stand to be hit hard.
Next elections are coming in 2021. Now in 2021, what should be done to improve?
What should be done, in our view, as the Green Party, is that clear to handle it ourselves. That again makes generating can be used for of Western hostilities, to start developing weapons. We may find ourselves in nuclear weapons. What we are seeing in Iran, power generation, solar energy, very
helping us to discuss a number of issues to do with a lot of complaints and a lot of talk in the country. This has to do with taxes that are coming up in the country. And another question, as I bring that, another one of the questions is, in the morning, just wanted to find out from Mr. Sinkamba on what he thinks on these ever increasing taxes, but no salary increments. What is your
too many people? Must be turning in his grave for the government on the platform of lower taxes, more money in the people's pockets. Now, for example, the pay-as-you-earn tax to lower banks, a lot of these taxes, reducing those that were existing and not creating even any other. So now what has happened is been a double stream. One stream, taxes are increasing. The other stream, platform on which the late Mr. Satas stood. And that is extremely, extremely disappointing to the Zambian people. And what makes...
Hello, good morning. Empire, can I show contributions? Thank you.
Yes, as at State House, where we explained to him to consider with my colleagues. I have no problem.
The issues are coming up. Are there any further engagements to try and bring out the...
Some people must understand that those that freed, there was an issue in South Africa, and those assets in South Africa are worth billions of dollars. So we wrote a petition to Parliament so that Parliament could trigger the us. So Parliament wrote back to us to say no, engage the Auditor General. We wrote to the Auditor General if he could go in and audit those assets in South Africa. He came back and said no, we do not have capacity.
No. Okay, thank you so much, Abuja, for that contribution.
And wakateka la lisatu eba kwa timwenga masafe convince kwete nwachita luchilufya eba chiteko eba community state. And we hope that if Margaret Manakato will be very reasonable and we resolve these issues properly, we will get to her. But if she doesn't, if she wants to insist that she will proceed with this program, then we have no option but to seek public court to block that move, or alternative.
Is this something new? We are told this has been existing for years, but
yes, it's been there. Why let it go? Because it's an inherited law. It was making sense. It was cancelled. You understand? Mm-hmm. So, but we have since changed that law, where councils had to sell their houses or the housing stocks.
We know nani aba? Oh yeah, nice ba. Empire ba Rachatengwa.
Leo famga Rachatengwa. Certain objectives. Mm-hmm. And now, and that's why we're saying no. That's a more reason why you need to change it now, because it was intended to.
Two issues: waste management, and also talking about the health issues. Another one says, "Good morning, Mr. Sinkamba. This is a." Here says, "Work hard, Green Party. We are behind you." Another one says, "Good morning, Mr. Sinkamba. Please, why you have not at least done? Why you have back to Jumbo Road again? Because your passion for
that, like strategy, and we've written to the ministry, because really for us, we don't think they wouldn't have been there. So it's an issue. Existing, and for us, we don't have a problem. Health is. It's happening in the UK, it's happening in the US. Program. Trump has started to scrap poor. So how do you expect the danger we run ourselves country given high quality treatment? for nothing because government will not pay because of the high other programs of to have National Service Program 2021, and I can assure you Canisius Ndola, good idea. What we've done is that we have also gone to court, demonstrate to them and people the World Bank $50 million for the Copper Belt Environment Project. Myself, the one you see here in Mindolo, I assisted to get those houses built for them. Over 100, we were getting down. We were able to get those people have their houses built from the World were paid that time 1 billion kwacha. People who were villagers were getting. Right now, there are a number of cases that are in court for people to get their because they're affected by pollution. They will be getting somewhere around, which again I negotiated. Run, you know. So really, this is it. But we don't want to. The road, Shimba Crescent. About minister. If you live in that neighborhood, I'll speak to the mayor, our mayor. He's just a secretary in general. So even if they don't do wrong work as a priority, they must do something.
You will still benefit. And I mean it. And I mean it.
And I mean it. Starts running, and then you can see, because in 1 year this country will see you see it turning around, and I can manage to do it because I've got this program which has got a big